We're ready, baby?
Yeah, let's go.
We're on time. Okay. Like in Ben's chat every time he's like 5 minutes late. Oh. I'm back. You guys miss me? I missed all of you so much. I want to give you all an air hug. And if you miss me, feel free to give me an air hug back.
I do not miss you.
I didn't ask you. I was talking to the viewer,
all right.
not you. Welcome back to Sin City Crypto Live. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts. And today, like every single weekday and now on Sundays, we're coming at you live from our studio here in the heart of Las Vegas, Nevada, with our daily live show. We have a very special guest joining us today, Rob from Digital Asset News. Will be joining us in T-minus 30 minutes. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. We have macro stuff to talk about. We got Visa integrating crypto for settlement payments. We also have news on Polygon, Ethereum, Bitcoin, NFTs, a new social experiment. We'll talk about that and much, much more. But before we can talk about that and much, much more, I'd like to introduce you to your other co-host. Hello, Robin. And why are you copying my style on the shirt there?
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we are an entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we take the old, boring, and stale information and package it up in a fun and sexy way. Also, Bitcoin's been at 23,000. Hasn't moved.
It crashed yesterday.
It did not
Big
crash.
crash.
Stop.
Yeah.
It did not crash.
It
Get
crashed.
Out of here, bro. Stop it.
And yes, IMJ said, you look like got some sun. Yeah, I didn't realize Arizona was, still thought it was summer.
Yeah, why are you copying my style, man?
You copied my style,
like,
bro.
what?
You're lucky I got a different color collar, or else we'd look like the same.
Yeah.
You know, I had a great time in Arizona. I spent some time with family, but I can't lie. I really miss being on the show. I missed all of you. I missed everyone except Robin. And so we're back. I'm back.
You were gone for 2 days, bro.
I know, but it felt like forever, man. I just, like,
Dude sounded like he took a month off.
Hey, give me my second here, okay? Let me have a moment with my people. Anyways, so we have a lot to talk about today, and we're going to start it off on a little bit of a sour note. So economic conditions are bad. The Fed hiked another 25 basis points, and so companies are feeling the squeeze. Not only are companies feeling the squeeze, but the fire department of New York is also feeling the squeeze, as the New York Fire Department has canceled its sexy calendar spread due to a decline in sales, the department has said. If this is not an indicator that we're headed for a recession, I don't know what is.
Are you upset? I know you normally get it in the mail. You get it in the mail every week.
My wife is actually very upset. So when I broke the news to her, she said, I don't know what I'm going to be doing for the next 2 weeks. I said, it's okay, I got you, man. But in all seriousness, that's a little funny thing. But something, a lot of weird stuff has been happening lately, right? You got the China balloon that was shot down over U.S. Now you have South Korea saying that North Korea launched a balloon into their country. And then we have this, right? And Italy was hit with a widespread internet outage after international interconnection problems. You've heard of internet outage across cities, states, but an entire country?
First, before we get into this, I heard you reference a balloon, right?
Yeah.
There actually is some more breaking news on the balloon.
Are you being serious?
Yeah. Okay. So anyways, here, this is China releases first balloon photos from Missouri. So you can see this is the intel they were gathering. So
isn't that your neck of the woods?
I'm from Virginia, my dude. Surprised they didn't take out the balloon versus the military. So there you go.
Are you okay? I know we're not a politics show. We're not a government show or anything like that. But are you surprised they let it stay up there for that long?
First of all, we're missing the overarching narrative here,
which is
we popped a balloon, and it's like the biggest story. Like
it was a spy balloon.
It was. You think that is like the go-to spy material, like
Well, then why? Okay, then
country
why?
like China? Like you're sitting here trying to tell me that their apex alpha spy infrastructure is a balloon that can't be controlled and it just floats in the wind. Like, stop it.
Well, I mean, it's
Dude,
not enough. You can't send satellite. You can't send
Why can't you-
fighter jets to do it.
Why not?
Because then that's like they're
You
invading our country.
You don't think China
But a
got some
balloon-
satellites?
They do, but I'm saying, but you want to stay away from World War III and poke the bear. That's a U.S.
Bro, China's spying on us right now through satellites, man.
And
That
TikTok as
balloon
well.
was they launched that thing and they're like yo, watch what U.S. does. They're gonna
what?
like, I don't know, man. I'm telling you that China did come out. If I never believe anything China says. But they said it was just a weather balloon that got off track.
Okay.
And
And
you're
you're buying into that?
If there was ever some truth to it, I think it might be like.
Oh, and then North Korea launched a weather balloon as well. What is this new phenomenon? Weather balloons? It's a lot of weird things are happening right now.
Are a normal thing, man. I'm just letting you know, bro.
Weather balloons, yeah, from other countries spying on us. But anyways, so
it's
weird.
It's like popping a birthday balloon and governments over
Except
here
the spying on everyone. Yeah. But what I'm curious is, and I wish Rocco was here so I can ask him about this Italy thing. There's a lot of weird things happening. I mean, it's weird that an entire country loses internet connection. And so we talk about this in crypto all the time, right? You cannot stop crypto. You cannot stop blockchain. The only way is to shut the internet off. And so putting our tinfoil hat on here for a second, are we kind of seeing some sort of testing on, hey, what would it look like? Is it even possible? What are your thoughts? Am I kind of too much reading into this?
is I came in this morning and Rocco did not show up today. And internet went out in Italy. So I'm just, Rocco, our producer, is Italian. So I just thinking, did the GPS like turn off on his phone? Did he not know how to find a place? Just saying.
See, Rocco, this is the man you always back up on the show. And he over here talking crap about you. Thank you, Kyler. I like how you're a good man. Guys, make sure you hit the like button. And if you're new here, drop an hola and we'll have Robin drop one back at you. And not only will he give you an hola, but he will also mispronounce your name. That is a fact. Let's move on.
Matter of fact, we got Kiwi Crypto free up in here. I am Jay, and to all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. We are at a 30% like ratio. Let me ask you a question. Do you not like this video? Are you not fond of our matching shirts and our off-topic tweets that we happen to pull up? Yes. Hit the like button. Do us a favor. Gracias.
Yes. All right. Let's move on to some actual real news. So this is concerning. Binance suspends all USD and US bank transfers as of Wednesday, February 8th, as of in 2 days. They still have not found a new banking partner to facilitate USD transfer activity. If you guys remember, Silvergate is kind of... so here's the thing. All these traditional banks that were servicing crypto companies, fiat on and off ramps, they're essentially getting blackballed, and you can call it an ultimatum from the banking system because they are part of that banking system. They are regulated on a federal and state level. They're kind of being shunned for servicing crypto companies. We saw Silvergate back away. We saw Signature Bank, and I believe that is the bank that stepped away, or at least said, we will only service $100,000 transactions or more. And so Binance has still not found a new partner to facilitate these USD transfers. And so what's going to happen is starting on the 8th, you can no longer onboard or offboard United States dollars on Binance. Is this, first of all, this is concerning, correct?
Absolutely, man. I mean, think about it. You can't get your money out, bro, right? Funds aren't lost. They're not locked up, but at the end of the day, you want to sell, take cash. You have an additional roadblock. Now, this does not stop you from sending to another exchange. So my immediate knee-jerk reaction is, hey, if I needed to sell my Bitcoin, for example, and I can't convert my USD to a bank account, then I'll just send it to Coinbase and do the same. or to KuCoin or whatever on and off ramp other options you have. And then, is it concerning? Absolutely. I think it's more of a realization that what happened with FTX, what is happening with Silvergate, what is happening with traditional finance, basically getting squeezed to saying, hey, we don't want you messing around with crypto. It is that much more obvious. So,
Gonzo said, is it only for wire transfers? I don't think so, man. I think it's for ACH, for wire, for anything involving Swift, banks, and US dollar.
With that said, I do think that they would probably move pretty quickly to find now, infrastructure or, partnership that large, I guess, would be hard to find. But I would assume and I would hope that Binance, being the biggest exchange globally, that they would figure it out sooner than later. And if there is any downtime, I would doubt that it would be more than a week, man. What do you think?
I mean, dude, like you knew weeks ago that you were not going to have a bank anymore, right? And it's been weeks and you haven't found another partner. And so you got to think of it this way. You'd figure this would be on top of the list of things to do for Binance is, hey, find another partner to let our people on and off board their fiat, right? Because if they can't onboard their fiat, they can't use our platform to invest money. And obviously they can't take any profit. So people are going to stop using their platform. So I don't buy into this whole thing. I just don't think there's anyone that wants to put their neck on the line. I don't know if it's just with Binance or with the whole industry as a whole.
Well, whoever they partner with is going to have massive liquidity, right? You can't partner with the bank in Montana. Like you got to go with probably a global bank, somebody that has billions of dollars in liquid cash that they can move in and out. They also have to partner essentially with a crypto exchange. And so, it is a,
let me ask you this question.
Tall order.
Do you think this is a trend we're going to continue to see with other exchanges? Possibly. It's not good, man. That's not good. You can't get money on and off. I mean, obviously there's ways, you can have, and I'm not sure what platform allows it. Maybe PayPal does, but instead of converting from US dollars to euros on PayPal and then sending it over, I don't know what it looks like, but I'm sure there's a way around it. And I'm sure all the degenerates on Twitter will find their way. All right, let's move on to some Bitcoin news. And so this is from Documenting Bitcoin at Documenting BTC. Institutional demand for Bitcoin dominated the entire digital asset industry last week with nearly 100% of all investments. So this chart shows flows by asset in millions, and you can see weekly flows, right? Total of 75.6. This is net. 68.5 million of that was from Bitcoin. ETH came in at 0.7, Binance 0.1, short Bitcoin 8.2, and then everything else is a non-factor. And so are we seeing, right? So typical bear markets, right? And at the bottom, money starts flowing out of alts into Bitcoin. Bitcoin starts to rise, and then people take profit from Bitcoin, move it into altcoins. So does this kind of mean we're at the beginning maybe of a bull market, right? And do you think the Bitcoin dominance is going to continue to rise to 43, 45, maybe even 50%?
We're seeing an uptick in volume. I mean, BTC dominance is over 40%. It got as low as like 32% at one point during the bull market run. And ETH dominance is less than 20% as well. So I do think that Ethereum is going to outpace Bitcoin next bull run. And I'm not even going out on a limb here. It's just, you know what? Bitcoin's going to have less X's than the altcoins. Ethereum's going to have more X's than Bitcoin. And then you go down the ladder as well. Altcoins will outperform Ethereum. And that's just because the more risk you take, as projects aren't quite as developed as Bitcoin and Ethereum, the bigger returns. Higher risk, higher returns. Also, another inflow metric I wanted to do was, why is the inflow on our like button so low? Why do I got to do this twice, man? if you're driving in your car,
50%.
pull over, put on the hazard lights, close the chat, hit the like button, and come back. Thank you.
Wow. Thanks for that step-by-step. We appreciate it.
That's right. Also, a little love for the chat. We do got some new people in here. So we got Crypto King, Robert Triana, Bud ETH, 88 Metal Mania, Connor Caden, and Derek for reals. To you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
Before we get into to the prices and charts and stuff, I want to share. So obviously, addiction is a very serious topic. I've had family members. I've personally dealt with addiction myself. Yeah. I'm over here trying to.
Well, go ahead.
Okay, in all seriousness though, would crypto trading addiction been on your bingo card for 2023?
Are you calling me an addict? Because your boy started a whole freaking podcast.
I don't know, man.
If anybody's addicted.
But if you're in Spain, and you have a crypto trading addiction, you can now go to rehab for it. So this is from Cointelegraph. Spanish rehab center adds crypto trading addiction to their services list. A luxury rehab center in Spain has recently added services aimed at treating a relatively new kind of addiction, crypto trading. The February 5th report revealed that one of the center's clients reached out so that he could wean off crypto after reportedly pouring in $200,000 worth of trades each week. Jesus. Let me tell you, man, trading is addicting. Whether you're options trading, whether you're crypto trading. Obviously, if you're at a point where you're spending money you cannot afford to lose, money you're supposed to pay rent, definitely reach out to someone. All jokes aside, reach out to someone. You can reach out to us. But it's like, just don't put in what you're not willing to lose, right? Doesn't matter what chart you look at. Doesn't matter if the best technical analyst in the world says, oh my God, this chart's gonna, the price of Bitcoin is gonna go to this price. It's showing this pattern and these metrics. Doesn't matter. Anything can happen, right? And so never, ever, ever invest money you are not willing to depart with forever. And so with that being said, Robin, let's take a look at what the crypto markets are doing.
All right. So we are teetering on the $23,000 mark. We have BTC coming in at $22,989.56. Taking a look at the 1 day chart. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. You can see that earlier this week we did get as high as 24,000. Looks like we were gonna be testing this 25K. This is gonna be a massive resistance zone, but we are back to the 23,000. But when you zoom out, you take a look at the 1 month. This is beautiful. And you know where I'm going with this, David. This is what I like to deem as the ascending stairs.
Well, it looks like it's starting to descend now, right?
No, it says still we are still making
higher
highs on the support level. I mean, we've been under 23,000 4 times in the last, I think it is 2 weeks or so. Let's see. So going back to so the last roughly 2 weeks, 2 weeks and a couple days, you can see that we have touched under 23,000 3 times. So this would be the 4th. And so nothing to freak out about here. I think, do you think 25, you got some charting on Bitcoin tonight?
I do.
You do? Okay. Well, we'll get into that in a second. But I do think 25K is on the table this month. What do you think? Okay.
It depends.
All right. Now, Ethereum, $1,642. Some of the biggest gainers today, you have Frax share up 25%, up 22% for the week, sitting at number 55. You familiar with Frax shares?
Not really.
Yeah, so this is I think it's an algorithmic stablecoin pegged to, or a platform that offers an algorithmic stablecoin called Frax that is pegged to assets outside. I'm not exactly sure the assets, but guess what? It falls in the AI group, right? And I think that these algorithmic stablecoins or algorithmic projects have found a new wrapping paper for the same present, right? And now your algorithmic are just deemed as AI, right? Because I mean, an algorithm essentially is an AI-based code, right? And so is that here for that reason? And the funny thing is they don't even really promote themselves as that. Also, we got Lido up 14%, the Graph up 13%, and Render token up 13% as well. And then you familiar with Render? Render's this one is a proof of work GPU, kind of like Ethereum proof of work in the past. So I don't know too much about it, but that's it.
Speaking of AI tokens, I'm actually going to talk about that on my night stream today. So so we do we've added a couple streams. We do a Sunday morning Q&A with Rob at 10 a.m. Pacific, and we're doing a 6:30 p.m. Monday night stream Pacific with me. And so tonight we're going to be covering AI tokens. We're going to look over some of the big ones and whether that's going to be the next boom or the next start of the boom for the next bull market. All right, let's hop into some charts, and then we'll hop into Forrest's video, and then we'll hop into our guests. Oh, we'll bring our guests on the show. All right, so this is from TradingView. So this is kind of a crypto heat map. This is year to date. You can kind of see here, guys, Bitcoin up 39% year to date from the beginning of January till now, ETH 37.45, XRP 18%. A couple other ones I want to highlight. Polygon is up 62% since the beginning of this year. Solana 133%, Avalanche 85%, Polkadot 54%. And so big first 6 weeks of the year. And you can kind of see here, guys, moving on to coinglass.com. The best week Bitcoin has had ever. The best 6 weeks Bitcoin has had ever to begin the year. You see here, and I don't know why this says 1 week, second week. Anyways, we've had 5 out of the last 6 weeks to start the year in the green. We have never seen that. And if you swap over to the monthly, January was the second largest gaining month in Bitcoin's history in 10 years. The only month higher was 2013 when this data started being tracked. And so what did we see after a massive January? Well, we can look back at 2013. We saw 44%, followed by 61, 172, and 50. Very, very unlikely that happens again. More so, if you take a look at 2020, we had 30%, which is more in line with what we're seeing now. Obviously, with the pandemic, it kind of threw everything off with these 2 green months. What could it have looked like if these were green? What numbers would we have seen? Obviously, we started off February down 0.75%.
I'm curious what the chat thinks. If you think that we are going to have a green week or green month, excuse me, if you think February is going to be green, put a 1 in the chat. If you think that February will be red, put a 2 in the chat. Curious.
Yes.
And we also have Crypto Billy has dropped a $5 super chat. He says, remember to donkey punch the like button. I'm not exactly sure what a donkey punch is, but.
With your leg, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, the back kick.
Oh, okay. I think that's
if I was standing, I'd show you.
It's a donkey kick. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but a donkey punch is the same as donkey kick. I'm just saying, I watched a lot of Shrek movies. And Shrek, what was Donkey's name? Donkey?
You'll find a different description in Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do not
look
Google.
It up. Yes.
Do not Google.
All right,
that's right.
Let's take a look at Bitcoin chart. So I got the 4 hour here pulled up on Bitcoin.
A lot of 1s and 2s, by the way. So we have mixed feelings from the chat.
Interesting. All right, so 4 hour, we have a very good support zone. I'm going to call it 22.6 to 22. Let's just call it 22.8. We've wicked down here a few times back in on January 26th of this year. January 30th, we wicked down here briefly on the 1st of February. And then we've kind of wicked down here a few times over the last 2 days. And we've popped right back up every single time. So this level, especially if you're a swing trader or a leverage trader, I'd be looking at buying between 22.6 and 22.8 for Bitcoin. Sometimes your profits will be 60, 70%. Sometimes it might be 20, 30%. So depends on how much money you're putting in. But again, never trade any money you are not willing to lose. Tons of volume coming in at this level here again as well. But looks like on the 4 hour, we're printing a doji, which signifies indecision in the market.
You say Dogecoin?
Doji. It's a candle pattern. If we move over to the daily, kind of seeing the same thing as far as the support zone and an even bigger legged doji here as well. I feel like there's a lot of unknowns in the market. People don't know what the hell's going on. And part of the reason is this, and I'm going to swap over here. And so Fed had their FOMC meeting last Wednesday, which we covered. And now Fed Chair Jerome Powell, right? There's going to be, I'm counting 6 speeches from FOMC members this week. Jerome Powell speaks tomorrow, followed by William Barr, I believe is his name. He speaks on Tuesday as well. And then Wednesday, you have Wednesday 2 times, Friday 2 times. You have FOMC members speaking. So traders are either exiting, putting it on the sideline, or they're just afraid of what the hell is going to happen. What are they going to say? Are they going to tamper market expectations? Everyone's like, Jerome Powell came off as more dovish than he wanted. Markets rallied. He's not happy. He's going to come and try to suppress the markets. I don't know. I don't follow these speeches enough to be like, this is out of the ordinary, but it should be interesting and kind of give us some glimpse of why volume has dropped and not only stocks. But
here's an interesting, obviously Jerome Powell never references crypto. You know, obviously he's the Fed chair of the U.S. and it's all about dollars, right? You know, U.S. But he is speaking at the Economic Club at Washington, D.C. And he is getting interviewed by somebody named David Rubenstein. Anyways, this dude, he said he's pretty bullish on crypto. He has he came out saying there's a lot of potential in the crypto industry, and he also was saying that blockchain companies are going to be very successful in the future. And so, do you think that this guy Rubenstein will try to convert your boy Jerome over, or what? What do you think, David?
I highly doubt it. No, I don't think anyone can convert Jerome Powell.
But do you think it's interesting that he's interviewing with somebody that is bullish on crypto?
I don't know. I don't know if
they could be having coffee, you know, like sitting back on the water cooler, and you know, this guy David, not you, but the other guy, you know, he's over there like, it's a crypto thing, man. We'll take over the world.
I doubt it. I think that's a little bit of a reach, even for me. All right, before we bring on our guest, let's go ahead and check out the video that our man Forrest sent us. So this is regarding Polygon and Ethereum and how they're leading adoption. And this is a news article from Bloomberg. We're going to see some charts as well. And then we'll come back, we'll bring our guests on, and we'll talk about it. So let's go ahead and pull this up, and please enjoy.
Bloomberg unveils crypto outlook, highlights explosive Polygon-matic adoption, and forecasts Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin. So I want to provide some charts that kind of show what Bloomberg is talking about in this little mini article. First, let's go through it. Bloomberg Intelligence has released its official crypto outlook. Bloomberg unveils crypto outlook, highlights explosive Polygon-matic adoption, and forecasts Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin. So I want to provide some charts that kind of show what Bloomberg is talking about in this little mini article. First, let's go through it. Bloomberg Intelligence has released its official crypto outlook for the month of February, citing massive mainstream adoption of Polygon-matic and forecasting the future of Ethereum's performance relative to Bitcoin. The new report covers the rise of Polygon, which is a layer 2 network designed to power crypto projects and scale Ethereum transactions. Of the entire worldwide blockchain economy, Polygon has the 3rd largest ecosystem for dApps. Many of the most popular DeFi dApps on Ethereum, including Aave and Uniswap, have migrated over and are being developed on Polygon. The report also highlights Polygon's growing adoption by mainstream corporate giants, including Nike, Disney, Starbucks, Coca-Cola, Meta, and Reddit. And there was one other piece in here that I did want to briefly go over. Bloomberg Intelligence also analyzes the crypto markets as a whole, noting this will likely be the first time Bitcoin, Ethereum, and altcoins have to fight through a global recession. As for Bitcoin and Ethereum specifically, Bloomberg Intelligence forecasts that in the long run, ETH is on a definitive path toward resuming a long-term uptrend against Bitcoin. coming economic here we go, led to the possible coming economic reset may mark similar milestones. A key question is how much price pain will there be before longer term gains resume. All right, so we're going to kind of go through the charts here. First of all, we're in a bit of a bear market rally, as they mentioned in the article. But first, let's look at the ETH Bitcoin trajectory. This is what they're talking about. Since September of 2019, and that's that's a long time ago at this point, almost over 3 years ago now, almost 4 years ago now, that Ethereum has been outperforming Bitcoin, and we're coming down to this longer term trend line after a period of sideways consolidation for pretty much the entire bear market and even kind of the latter half of the bull market. So to me, this looks like a likely place for that trend to continue for Ethereum outperforming Bitcoin. And this is definitely not a trend that I personally would want to bet against from fundamentals or just from technicals. This has been a kind of a longer term multi-year trend. And yes, there's going to be some volatility within it, but at any given point, betting on that trend to reverse is, in my opinion, unwise unless we actually see those technicals come in where we actually break the trend line, hold it as resistance, and then continue downwards. But we likely see that reflected in some sort of fundamental shift in the discussion of Ethereum versus Bitcoin. I also want to show Matic, Ethereum, and Bitcoin dominance or market share. We see Matic down here at the bottom has been on a long-term uptrend. We saw the radical shift in the bull market, and we've actually seen Matic steadily climb and maintain its market dominance. Now, this is a logarithmic chart, so we're currently sitting at 1% dominance, and Matic did see a drawdown down to about 0.33% dominance, but overall, if we look at the long-term trend, this is fairly maintaining these higher levels of dominance. And we're actually creeping towards or at all-time highs in Matic dominance, despite the fact that we've been in a bear market. So Matic has been able to outperform the rest of the market despite being in a really tough, being in tough market conditions. Right, we do have BNB here because I do think it's a decent comparable to Matic. Now, Matic is technically like a layer 2 network for Matic, and BNB is more of just an EVM compatible sidechain, but they are pretty decent comparables. BNB has some different tech and is a bit more centralized and attached to the Binance exchange. But we did last week or the week before briefly discuss, look, if Polygon can match BNB's dominance, that's nearly a 5x in just dominance gains, just in market share gains. And that's without the market actually, the total market cap going up. So is it possible for Matic to see 3, 4, 5x gains here if it continues to establish these huge partnerships? Yes, absolutely. And then lastly, the last part of this article kind of talked about, potential recession, pain ahead, economic hardship. I think it's important that despite the fact that we are in a bear market rally and we're starting to see stuff go up, let's reground ourselves and look at the yield curve here. This is the yield curve. When it drops below 0, which is this green horizontal line here, we usually see a recession or a large crash following that. Now, we may or may not have bottomed yet. We're very, very close to putting in a new low. And oftentimes you do see the peak of the bull market or the top of the S&P 500 come in either in line with that bottoming or shortly thereafter. So I do think this bear market rally can continue, but as we get deeper into 2023, note that there could be some serious pain in legacy markets, which could translate or would likely translate to pain in the crypto markets. However, these more volatile risk assets can be phenomenal buying opportunities when the overall economy is down. So I do think that Matic is poised to outperform and would be a great pickup if we do get recession later on in 2023. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this clip, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.
All right, guys. Forrest has been doing this for well over a couple months now. He joins us every Friday. If you're not subscribed to his channel, Sistine Research. Please do yourself a favor. He does stuff like this all the time, gives you perspectives that even myself or Robin don't necessarily, doesn't cross our mind. You can't think of every single scenario, right? But interesting points here. So the first, right, you have it from a news source like Bloomberg. And although we as a crypto community, we don't necessarily look at Bloomberg, the Financial Times, Market Watch, New York Times as reliable source of information, but guess who does? Mainstream media or mainstream investors do, retail investors do, your average people who are used to trading stocks and aren't fully dived into crypto like we are, they read stuff like this. And so do you guys think that this Bloomberg article about Ethereum and Matic can maybe cause some FOMO, people going into Matic? And you got to think of how investors think as well, right? You don't think in terms of, all right, I have $1,000, I can buy 0.6 Ethereum. People are going to be like, I have $1,000 and I want to buy 100 Polygon tokens, right? Polygon's at $1.20 or whatever the case may be. And so do you think we're going to see a retail FOMO-ish pump in Polygon Matic? If you think we are, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't, put a 2 in the chat. Also, what's intriguing is Ethereum outperforming and possibly flipping Bitcoin. We've heard this a lot from other YouTubers. I know Ben Armstrong talks about this all the time. Ethereum flipping Bitcoin. Do you guys think that's possible? I personally, it's a really hard question, and I'll get Rob's input here in a minute, but I don't know. Do you think, Rob, that ETH can flip Bitcoin and be the #1 cryptocurrency in the space?
It is possible. Right now, will barring some project.
Rob, your audio's off.
There
we go. We're good.
Okay.
But
sorry about that, guys. So your question was, is it
flip Bitcoin?
It cannot flip Bitcoin. Not in this next bull run. However, in the next bull run, maybe 10 years from now, possibly. And so,
but what if, let me give you a scenario, right? Let me give you a scenario here. So let's just say that 4 years from now, right? Economic conditions are bad, right? We've kicked this recession can down the road long enough to where 4 or 5 years from now, oh, here we go. We might be going into a Great Depression. But at this time, institutions have implemented blockchain, right? They're using the technology to use it in their everyday business practices. Don't you think that's enough to push something? And assuming they're using Ethereum,
I think so. I do think it's enough. However, what I'm saying is that the time period in the short term, it's not enough to displace Bitcoin. And perhaps two cycles from now, 10 years from now, if the major companies around the world are using smart contracts and predominantly using Ethereum and the side chains of Ethereum and, even more Polygon Matic, we're seeing the partnerships. But if the use case and utility is actually there and the people are using it, the consumers are using it, then at that point, yeah, I just think we're too far away on the short term to have Ethereum have more market cap than Bitcoin. It's just not. It's not going to happen. It's not realistic, and not in the next 3 to 5 years. But
I care about what Rob thinks about Bitcoin or ETH flipping Bitcoin, but not the Rob you're thinking about. I'm thinking about another Rob from Digital Asset News who is joining us. Let's go ahead and patch him in. My favorite Rob. How you doing, my friend?
Hello, gentlemen. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great, man. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. If you're not familiar with who this is, where the hell have you been? This is Rob from Digital Asset News. I'm assuming a lot of you are subscribed to his channel. His channel is one of our go-tos for information and opinion. And so if you're not subscribed, please use the link in the description to subscribe to his channel. Rob, we're having a debate here, okay? Can Ethereum flip Bitcoin? And my narrative is, imagine a scenario where 4 or 5 years from now, where the recession can's been kicked down the road, right? Now we're in a state of, oh my God, it's not just a recession, maybe it's a depression. But at this time, traditional companies have implemented blockchain in their everyday practices, what they're doing, and they're using Ethereum. Will that give it enough of a push for Ethereum to flip Bitcoin, even in down markets in crypto?
Gosh. So you could make a case for it. You can say, because I mean, Ethereum, just for its total value locked up in just in DeFi alone, is what, 60%, 65% of everything that's actually locked up right now.
Yep.
So you can make a case and say, well, what is Bitcoin going to do, or what is Bitcoin going to do for the masses, as opposed to what Ethereum could do, as far as with, smart contracts and NFTs and layer 2 solutions and things like that, and not just be whatever Bitcoin is, which I know, like, a lot of people, especially the Bitcoin maxis, will say, well, it's the ultimate store of value. Well, I mean, it really depends on who you're talking to and what time frame. And they say, well, it's a good medium of transaction. Well, I mean, not really. We saw what happened in 2018, 2020 when everything, really jumped up. But can Ethereum flip over with Bitcoin? I think it really depends on adoption, and as far as like countries, if they're going to make it actually legal tender, like El Salvador did, and what other countries are trying to do, or if Ethereum's going to move forward and start to partner up. Like I heard you guys talking about the Visa story, how they're going to be able to allow with USDC on Ethereum. I don't know how large those transactions have to be, because let's be honest, Ethereum with their gas fees, it's not super cheap. So maybe if they use a Polygon layer 2 solution or a side chain, sure. But I mean, I will tell you this: I've been in since 2017, and I've heard that same sentiment over and over again, that something's going to flip Bitcoin, something's going to flip Bitcoin. It could happen, but I'm not holding my breath for it to happen anytime soon. That's all. That's what I say about that.
Interesting. It's good to get different takes, right? You have the Bitcoin maxis who have their narrative, right? And then with this whole, when, utility is introduced to Bitcoin, like in the forms of those, what was the name of the NFT thing?
For
with
Bitcoin?
The ordinals. Which
the
NFT
was
thing?
it, right.
Go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say it was about putting transaction data on Satoshis and moving things around. And everybody, like, it's weird because, like, and this is another thing that I find fascinating, is that the Bitcoin maxis will always say, well, you don't understand about Bitcoin is that it's the most secure transactional layer, and you're able to build on top of that and build up. And it has the most computational power in the world, and it's the safest, and it's the most secure. But then when we start to talk about NFTs and this ordinals, they're like, what are you talking about? We can't do that. We can't, we can't actually make this thing actually go up. Well, this is Bitcoin, damn it. And then people, it's kind of like the opposite of what they were talking about. The only one that really came out was Dan Held. He came out and said, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's going to give notoriety to Bitcoin. It's going to allow it to push forward. Not to say that we haven't built things like we have smart contracts on Bitcoin, Taproot. We have,
Segwit.
well, I mean, the whole other Segwits and such. So I don't know. I just find it fascinating that, we talk about it. Oh, of course, Lightning, the layer 2 transactional layer. We talk about how great it can be, but when people try to do something with it, they're like, no, you can't do that. I find it as a hindrance. That's all.
Yeah, this is definitely just the scratching the surface, and I'm excited to see what is built on Bitcoin using its security, because essentially, like, what is the narrative? What are they trying to accomplish by launching on Bitcoin? Well, yeah, sure, it might be a little PR, but essentially, security is not going to be compromised if your NFT is on the Bitcoin blockchain, on the layer 1. And that can't that can't be disputed. Like it's the most secure, right? At least, time tested. And I'm excited to see what other developers are going to use Bitcoin with. And I think if you have this mindset that Bitcoin has to be a store of value, it can't be used in any other way.
Do you think this is going to force? Yeah. Okay, if we see more adoption, right? So the biggest pushback from the Bitcoin people was Satoshi. This is supposed to be for transactions, moving money back and forth, a reserve asset for countries. And you're bogging down the transaction time and the throughput by doing stuff like NFTs, JPEG pictures, whatever. Is this going to force the Bitcoin? I don't even know if the devs or the mining council, whoever gets these votes, to make some upgrades or changes to Bitcoin.
Are you referencing another increase the block size?
Another BIP, Bitcoin improvement proposal? I don't know. Do you think this is going to force miners to do that? And what is that going to look like? Rob from Digital Asset News, I'll ask you first.
So I mean, if it was a problem that was created by man, it can be solved by man, right? So if we had the same problem when 2017 came around, and everybody talked about Bitcoin as being this cryptocurrency, the currency of the internet. You can actually pay for things. And then as time went on, and we started to, people were buying and selling, and some people were trying to use it as a currency. I mean, the transaction fees were astronomical. I want to say they were like over $30 a pop. I want to say they were like 60. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but I want to say it was like 40 or $50 per transaction fee at the very top. So when I see something like that, and then of course then Lightning comes around, and then Jack Mallers had this great presentation at the Bitcoin Expo, and he could say, look, you can transfer everything around using the Bitcoin rails, and you can just have like a euro, use the Bitcoin rail, and it comes into $1. You have $1 comes to the rails and gets on the other side as a peso. So when we're talking about these things, and because that was way before. So why couldn't we do the same exact thing with Bitcoin? However they do it. I'm not a developer. I don't pretend to be one, but it doesn't seem like it's like we're trying to pull an Elon Musk and go to Mars. I'm sure somebody's smart enough out there to figure it out.
Yeah, right. I like how.
Real quick before I ask you, Robin, if you think that this, the ordinals, an NFT thing coming on the thing, is gonna rile up the Bitcoin maxis, wait until you hear that hey, another Bitcoin improvement proposal has been proposed. Do you think, Robin, that the miners are gonna have to, or do you think they should?
I don't know. That's all. Obviously you have to speculate. But if for some reason it drastically affects the network negatively and it's hurting market adoption, I do think that the miners will be more privy to voting for an upgrade, something that would address the issue. I don't think that they'll just be so stagnant. They're like, we're not going to change it if they're going to be losing market share because of inefficiency. And as Rob said, it's to have a stagnant state of mind and think that Bitcoin's not going to evolve or change, or it wasn't created in a certain way. You mentioned the Satoshi's original vision. I'm not talking about the fork, but the Bitcoin. The title of the white paper literally
peer-to-peer
was a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. That's literally in the title, yeah. And yet most of the strongest supporters of Bitcoin beat the drum that it's the best store of value, not really what it was designed to do. So as I was alluding to earlier, I'm excited to see what the next coming of Bitcoin is going to look like. What is it going to look like 10 years from now? Is it even a store of value anymore? Is it used as the security layer for a lot of the other big projects? Maybe that's, I don't know, man. I think
time will tell.
That's the beauty of a free market, is that you don't know what you're going to get out of this. So
we do know what we're going to get out of Visa because Rob actually mentioned this, and so we're going to cover it now. But Visa is devising its crypto strategy around stablecoin settlements. The largest payment processor network, Visa, is devising its crypto strategy around stablecoin settlements. It is planning to let customers convert their digital assets into fiat currencies on their platform. Visa is also working on settlements around stablecoins. And there's one they mentioned by name, and that is USDC. They are working on how to accept crypto settlement payments from issuers in USDC on the ETH network and pay out USDC on the ETH network. He also said Coy Sheffield also said that the company is investing in digital assets and fiat currencies. The idea is to enable the conversion between digital currencies and traditional dollars without any roadblocks, just like dollars and euros are transacted. Visa is also looking to integrate blockchain into its payment network to enable even faster transactions. Sounds like they are kind of done with SWIFT. And just so you guys know, Visa processes, and the number was here somewhere, they process a lot.
Oh,
Forget what the number.
I like that one.
Number went somewhere. But go ahead, Rob.
No, you're right. They process a boatload. They are global. They're huge and they're not going away. And of course, they stuck themselves right in the perfect position to take an opportunity to the next big play, which is crypto digital assets. It was a smart move, a smart way to go. And they're like, we know we're thinking. And this is the thing when people talk about like crypto digital assets. Well, go to zero. Like my buddy Jim Cramer says, it's going to zero. You guys are idiots. And da-da-da. It's not going to zero. There's so many things that are. No, I'm just kidding. No, he's nobody's buddy. So we talk about this like it's an actual possibility. It's not going to go to zero. We're going to have some hard times. I don't know what's going to happen in 2023, but you can see like governments are positioning themselves because they don't. Here's what I always think is that they're not here to lose out on taxes, right? The governments don't want you to stick your money into a bank and let it inflate away too much because they want you to spend it. What happens when you spend? Well, it increases in the economy, the GDP grows. And then also, if you can invest into it, well, what's great about that? Well, if you invest and that grows, then you have long-term or short-term capital gains. And guess what the government likes? They like taxes. So when they see stuff like this, especially with crypto, any digital asset that's out there, they're like, wow, we can really position ourselves for a real tidal wave really wanted to. And that's, I think, the big thing. Once they figure out how to regulate these centralized exchanges a little better, then things will take off. That's just that little side note.
That's interesting. And, Will from our chat said, Rob's rules have saved me so much crypto this bear market. And so I know on your stream, on the left-hand side there, when you go to, when you share your computer, you have rules. And so, guys, I'm telling you, if you're not following Rob from Digital Asset News, you need to do so. Robin, I want to ask you, and guys, there is a poll in the chat. We're going to close out here in a couple minutes. Do you think this is first, it's a two-part question. First question is, are you surprised USDC was specifically mentioned and not left more of stable coins? Is this harming USDT in the long term? And second, would you be willing to spend your stable coins on, let's say, groceries or paying bills or going to the movies or whatever the case may be, versus taking those profits, converting them into fiat, taking them to your bank account, and using your bank card to do it?
I'm not surprised, first of all, that it's USDC. This is seems to be more institutional friendly.
Why do you think that is?
BlackRock is BlackRock, Coinbase, obviously publicly traded. It seemed, it's a homegrown company, or here in the U.S. So Tether, obviously, they don't have to follow a lot of the guidelines with the U.S., even though they do, and they are transparent, so they have complied, but not on the level of USDC. They seem to be working with regulators and institutions. So when it comes to Visa's not going to take on risk, and when it comes to any of their partnerships, or at least mitigate.
So you're saying
risk
USDT is too big of a risk
in comparison to US? I think honestly, for Visa, they got to look at crypto as a risk. I mean, we degen, we're here, but I mean, compared to what they have worked with FDIC insured banks and banks, they look at crypto as a risk. So, they're going to obviously pick the one that's the least risky, the one that has as the least potential for, some disruption. I mean, we see that, what was it, Tether, FTX was the largest holder of Tether at one point, or they had gotten the most. There
was some big relationship. I'm not sure what it was.
Yeah, it's not a good look for Tether, and it's always been this FUD around the narrative, and it just seems like Circle plays by the rules. Now, what you were mentioning earlier, where here's I just want to expand on this. Is that I always kind of go back to when company says they're going green, a lot of the times it's because of profitability. It's easy to say, hey, we're going to go green, we're going to do this X, Y, and Z. Because at the end of the day, somebody's in a boardroom saying, hey, if we do this, not only is it a PR move, we say we're going green, but we're going to shave off, $5 million on the bottom line at the end of the year. And if Visa can do the same thing, if they can say, hey, you can save by our transactions are more efficient, they cost less than using, say, an outdated Swift system by using blockchain technology, then sure, it might have a negative connotation right now, but this is cheaper and it makes us more money.
Is it going to make Visa more money?
If it's cheaper, yeah. It's more efficient. We know it is.
And I think Rob brought up a good point too. Rob, and I'll throw it to you next, is Ethereum, too expensive for everyday transactions? Are they going to go to a layer 2, or is it going to be a new layer 2? Go ahead, Rob.
I don't know how that's going to work, because I just talked about this today. Like, you see, think of it this way. So like PayPal and Stripe transactions, if you're an online retailer, you're paying 2.99% plus 60 cents per transaction fee, or it's 1.99% plus 60 cents, depending on where you're at and what kind of variability you have. And then if you go take a look at Visa itself, you would think, oh, well, Visa probably has, comparable rates. In all honesty, Visa beats out PayPal if they have a partnership with those industries or those businesses and the location of said businesses. So, like, I was looking at their website. They have some places where it's like, it's not 1.99 or 2.99%. It's like 0.18%. Or 0.18 to 0.62%. So they're making money on this massive amount of transactions. PayPal's making a ton of money, and Stripe is making a ton of money on those transactions as well. The big thing that Visa is losing out on is if some places don't take Visa or whatever, MasterCard, then PayPal will win out, because they'll say, well, we're kind of like that stopgap, and you can use PayPal, or you can use Stripe, whatever else it is, or Venmo or whatnot. What Visa is like is they're saying, okay, well, if we're not accepted here, guess what? Guess where everything's accepted? If we can get into crypto and use digital assets, in any of these countries, we can be the big winner. And you don't have to use a PayPal, a Venmo, or WeChat, or whatever else that's out there. You can just use us, because we have everything. We have everything. We have all the transactions you want, and we can use digital assets and whatever it is. My friend Jerry Hall talked about this. He goes, in the future, like, let's say, I don't know if you guys have been to Europe anytime, but like, you go over to Europe, you go to London, you go to Spain, wherever else, you have to go and you have to, get their local currency, for dollars to euros. Wouldn't it be great if you just go there and you have a card? And this card is attached to your account. And just like how Jack Mallers does with Lightning Network, you go to a cafe shop, you go to a pub. How much is this for the round? It is 30 euros. You pay with your card, from dollars to euros to whatever else. Or maybe you have crypto in there. You're like, I want to get rid of this stellar nonsense, worthless crypto, and you pay for it like that. Visa could do all those things. But the big question is, to me, is like, if you took all that time to transfer. I guess I could see it actually. If you took all the time to transfer your earnings from a Bitcoin, Ethereum, a Chainlink, a Cardano, whatever else, into USDC, and you want to spend that USDC, like, you already have to pay the fees on top of that to do it. So why would you spend it? Right now, I just think to myself, why would I spend it in crypto and digital assets, other than the fact that I want to support the community and I want to support crypto in general? But what's the value for me as an American to cash out and use crypto? I can see how would be for somebody who's in, Colombia, or somebody who is in Turkey or something like that, and these types of countries. But other countries, I'm like, I don't know if it's like the big thing. Maybe Visa's just trying to be that stopgap for everything.
Well, I went to Israel last year, and over there, you can, so anywhere that Visa or American Express is taken, you can just swipe and use it there. But I noticed when I got back that I got feed to death for every transaction, and
it's such a long and expensive process.
So the way that people go on a trip, and in the past, you would get a traveler's check, right? Or you get an individual card, or you go you'd go and get the foreign currency at the airport before you leave. That was the way you used to do it. And, I'm not sitting there saying that, you empty out the portfolio for your trip. But if you're going to spend $1,000 instead of keeping it in the checking account, why not just upload it into Ethereum or Polygon or whatever, or Stellar Lumens, and then use it there, because the transactions that you're talking about are pennies. Versus using international fees that are attributed to going overseas and swiping your card. And then, what I'm most excited about with something like this is that small businesses are the ones that are hurt the most when it comes to these fees from these credit card companies. And if we can alleviate these fees, if we can drop a fee, if you can incentivize,
Bro, they're still gonna take their fees.
No, but here's the thing. But if you can incentivize someone, let's just say you have lower fees on, because there's different fees for debit, for credit. There's for American Express versus Visa. I'm sure that if Visa's like, hey, if you do a crypto transaction, it's going to be fundamentally cheaper. And maybe that small businesses will be incentivized to have their users or their consumers spend crypto for one, to save the small business money. And if small businesses can turn a bigger profit, because the ones that get the breaks, the ones that get the favorable Visa numbers are the big corporations, and the small businesses are the ones that are out back. And so I think right now it's new. It might not be perfect. It might not make a ton of sense, obviously. But
I'll tell you what, though.
In the future,
if there's a company that can make us go faster, it's Visa. Like Rob mentioned, they have everything in place, and they have the infrastructure in place too. You just got to implement the new technology.
Not to mention, MasterCard's got a lot of partnerships in crypto. MasterCard's got a lot of headlines for working with crypto. And maybe this is a knee-jerk reaction by Visa that, hey, man, you know what? If we don't act, MasterCard, hey, man.
Competition, baby.
There you go.
Competition breeds new ideas and breeds excellence.
That's right. There's always somebody
right.
breathing on your spot.
Exactly. Rob, I want to show a tweet you put out. You put out this tweet. It was actually pretty funny. And so we're going to tie this into a story. So this is,
I
by
saw
the way,
this one
guys,
yesterday. I actually showed my wife.
beavers. Beavers are interesting.
That's
So if you're not following Rob at News Asset, please go ahead and follow. Puts out tweets all the time. So question, what are clawbacks? And the answer is, pretend this cabbage is your crypto. And this beaver represents the Celsius lawyers. And so surprised he's not trying to build a dam with that cabbage.
Dude, I want a beaver, bro. Can you pick one up at the store?
There was a video of a family that had a beaver pet, and the beaver was taking all the pillows and stuff and blankets from the couch and building essentially like a blockade.
Yeah, I saw that one. That was pretty funny.
That was pretty funny. Now, what does this tie into what I'm trying to talk about? All right, let's talk about this. FTX threatens legal action against political recipients of donations. And so, in a statement issued on Sunday, FTX's newly appointed CEO, John J. Ray III, said the company would go after funds not voluntarily returned through legal means, quote, with interest accruing from the date of any action is commenced. The company also warned, this is interesting, that recipients who donated the FTX-linked funds to third parties, such as charities, the company will seek to recover that money as well. And then followed up by this tweet, new FTX CEO John Ray was paid almost $700K for his first weeks on the job.
Damn,
and so,
that's not bad.
So Rob, I want to ask you, yeah, not bad at all, right? I want to ask you first, Rob, is it fair, and I know none of us here are, have a background in legal, unless Rob, you do, that I didn't know of. We're not lawyers, we're not judges, right? But is it fair to go after, let's just say this Republican congressperson, took the money and then said, I'm going to donate it to Meals on Wheels of America. Is it fair for them to go back? Is it a good look for them to go back and try to get that money back? To do what? To line the pockets of the lawyers who are doing it? They're not going to pay that money back to the people.
Well, it's not a good look, that is for sure. I mean, the optics of that is pretty awful, especially if somebody breaks the news of of which charities they actually clawed it back from. And remember, this is only if the people who receive funds from FTX, not like FTX gave the charities, but if you took funds from FTX, meaning like a donation for a political PAC or some business, and you use some of those funds or all those funds to send to a charity, I don't know, I mean, maybe you're a big charitable firm, then they can say that we can take them back. So that is the first part. The second part is it optically a good solution? No, it looks pretty bad, looks pretty awful. Legally, can they do it? Looks like maybe they actually can do these things, because they're actually talking about this as well with Celsius for clawbacks. So and then to me, I think to myself, just like what you said, the funds that they recover, are they going to go back to like the people that use FTX? Are they going to go back to Tom Brady? That's what I really want to know. Are they going to help out Tom Brady and his family? Because
Brady doesn't need the money. He just I know he lost like $600 million in the
He
FTX
signed
thing,
a deal for $300 million.
350 or the new broadcasting career he's having. So, I'm sure Brady's going to be fine.
No, Brady's going to be fine. No, like all these, but like the people that we get it clawed back from, just like this, are they going to go back to the people or to the lawyers? There was an article just came out with Ellis and whatever, the law firm. It was a $38 million condo or house that they bought from all the fundings that they do. And of course, that's funds from where? Voyager, Celsius, and whoever else that they have. It's under Chapter 11. So if people think that we're going to get anything back in Chapter 11, I think you're mistaken. I just call for it like this. The only people that went in Chapter 11 in bankruptcy are usually lawyers. And I call it just liquidate us now. Liquidate it now. Give me back whatever that you possibly can, because if not, it's going to be eaten like that beaver showed you. And let me put it into where I want to do it to invest, because the stupidity of a new organization that you want to build on Voyager and Celsius is not going to happen. No one's ever going to trust you again. You guys lost all that. So the reorganization is dead. Give me back my funds and let me invest right now in this bear market so I can turn a profit.
That is such a good point, Rob. And we know, right? I know there's multiple bankruptcies, but typically with companies, it's either restructure debt and come back, or just liquidate everything and go under. And when I see companies like Voyager and Celsius and FTX go for Chapter 11 or restructure, I'm like, you literally have no chance of coming back, and you shouldn't. So why are we paying all this money to these freaking lawyers who are taking $700,000 in a matter of weeks? That money could have gone back to the people. If I have $100,000 on FTX and you can give me 20 back, I will take it. I will take it. The market is down. I will invest it. I'll make it back. But no, we have to wait for a 7, 8, 9, 10-year long drawn out process. And like you said, the only people that win are the freaking lawyers. The people that get screwed are the retail investors.
So to expand on what you were also saying, that, hey, if it went to a charity, should it be exempt? I think that's kind of what you were leaning at. And dude, if you open up that loophole, because donations go into
they'll create their own charities and funnel the money back into themselves.
There's that, but if you donate $1 million, they put it into a bank account that has 10 million, and then they'll just be like, oh yeah, we earlier this year we donated here. We used the funds from there. Anyways, either you reverse it all, or you just put your hands up and liquidate. But yeah, you can't create a loophole and say, well, if it went to donations to a non-charitable, kind of sucks for the charity. But
I'm starting to believe when Sam Bankman said the lawyers pushed me into Chapter 11, because if you look at it, Chapter 7, it's over in a few months and we don't make as much money. Or hey, let's push this company into Chapter 11 and give them an idea that hey, you can come back and let's make our money.
Yeah, that, and then also, I don't know if people in your show listening right now, have you guys gotten your 1099 forms from Celsius and or Voyager? So
no,
not
yet. The gains that you've gotten from the accumulation of that crypto, you're on the hook for that.
Stop.
And I actually had a couple of guys on from CoinLedger, and we were talking to them, and we're going to bring them back on and do a whole education series on it with the CPAs. And they're like, there's two ways you can look at it, because not everything is tied up because it's not liquidated. So you're in this kind of like weird limbo state. You can do one of two things. I mean, I know how I'm going to go, but they said legally, if you look at it, depending on your CPA, what they think, this is also with staking taxes and things like that, is that you would be on the hook for that, for those gains, that you got for the crypto, even though you can't touch it. And I said, well, it doesn't make any sense because I'm not going to be able to get it. They go, well, that's the whole thing. At some point you will be able to get it, but we don't know for how much. So let's say that this Chapter 11 drags out for 4, 5, 6 years. At that point, then they say, okay, now you know exactly what it is. Now you can claim it on your taxes. I'm like, that is ridiculous. Anyhow, but I'll have them back on and we'll talk about that again. But I've heard a lot of that from people. And like me personally, like I still have 6 figures on Celsius and 5 figures on Voyager.
Yeah.
So I'll be on the hook for some of that.
That's terrible, man. I'm sorry to hear
Don't
that.
cry
I
for
know
me,
a lot
I'll be
of.
okay.
No, I know.
Be okay.
But
Cry for the people that really got screwed.
no, I get it, and that's a lot of money. Whether you have the money or you don't have the money, that's still a messed up situation. But I'm actually interested in. And do you have a timeline of when you're going to be doing that with the accountants and CoinLedger, or is it like a set date? Or
no, I'll let you guys know. It'll be next week, and next week is the first one, but it's a series of 3 or 4 different videos, and we'll do it. We'll do a couple pre-recorded and a couple live, so everybody can ask their questions about taxes, because taxes scare the hell out of me, quite honestly.
Yeah.
So I'm always looking for the easiest and the best way to do it, and that's why I bring these guys on.
Amazing. And guys, you won't know when it's going to happen unless you're subscribed and have your notifications on for digital asset news. There's one more thing I want to go over with you, Rob, is this interesting article, and I'm curious to get both of your takes on this. So this is from Cointelegraph. Crypto needs adult supervision and turmoil to grow up, says MicroStrategy co-founder Michael Saylor. High-profile crypto bankruptcies and a hardy price crash are necessary evils to help the industry grow, while greater regulation is a must, according to Michael Saylor. He added the industry has some good ideas, implying one was the Bitcoin Lightning Network, of course, but added some in the space implemented those good ideas in an irresponsible fashion. Saylor said the crypto space needs direction from entities long involved in the traditional financial markets and input from regulators. And this next part, I'm going to read. This is a quote from Michael Saylor. What the industry needs is adult supervision. It needs the Goldman Sachs and the Morgan Stanleys and the BlackRocks to come into the industry. It needs clear guidelines from Congress. It needs clear rules of the road from the SEC. Rob, I want to ask you first. Do we need, does this industry need the adult supervision he's talking about? Do we need the Goldman Sachs and the BlackRocks and all these hedge funds and VC firms to come into the space to solidify it or to give it some sort of clout or whatever he's saying? Are you agreeing with what Michael Saylor said, or do you think he's talking gibberish?
There's nuances here, and there was this great debate between Saylor and Gammon on Rebel Capital, and he was talking about his stance on, because Gammon heard him talk about how you need to mortgage your house to buy crypto. Right. And it was just this big long thing, and it was just the nuance of what he was saying, and looking at as through the eyes of an American or another different countryman. With this one right here, this is what. Well, first of all, let's go back to that story about USDC. So why did Visa pick USDC? The reason is because they're highly regulated. They went before Congress. They said, we're going to give you all the paperwork that you want to see just to make sure that you know that we are collateralized. There's a reason why they didn't go with Tether. Tether may be a better option, but even though they had one audit from a company in the Bahamas, wherever that is, I don't know, that they said, we don't really like the optics here. We're going to go with USDC. They are regulated. We're going to go for it. Does that legitimize USDC just because Visa came in? Well, I think a lot of people in the masses would look at that and go, well, that's kind of favorable. I can kind of trust that because that's what it's all about, is trust. But did USDC change anything just because Visa came in? No, not a damn thing. So when Michael Saylor is talking about this, he goes, we need this regulation. It's not like he's saying that Bitcoin needs regulation. And I think that's what people look at that and go, he's talking about Bitcoin? We don't need to regulate Bitcoin. How do you regulate? You can't regulate Bitcoin. It's bigger than any one nation state. It just is. But what he is talking about, and this is the problem you'll see on like the Squawk Box, the MSNBC, the CNBCs, they'll preach about it. And even the senators will preach about how crypto is evil because FTX imploded. That's not the thing. The centralized exchanges, they need to stop screwing around and commingling all our funds. I'm not a big fan of them using my funds to buy condos for their family or to buy whatever they're doing. And I'm really you know what I'm a fan of? more people underneath the tent. So if you can just get the SEC, the CFTC, and the OCC to say, okay, this is a security, this is a commodity, this is a currency, now go with it. And that's it. Now the different big organizations like the BlackRocks, like the different banks, like the JP Morgans, which are a bunch of liars, they all come in and they say, okay, now we know what it is.
They don't lie.
We're not going to get for it. And now we can say, okay, this is what it is. It's a security. Do we have a security regulated exchange to go forward? And that's it. I've been harping on this thing forever. And people always like they just get pissed off at me all the time because they're like, damn it, Rob, you can't regulate anything. And I'm like, no, just regulate these suckers, these guys who screw us, these centralized exchanges, and we'll be a lot better for it. You're never going to regulate the crypto. It's just too big. Just tell us what it is and we'll make the rules. Show me the rules so I can bend the rules to my whim. I shouldn't have said it like that, but that's kind of what I mean.
Hey, man, that's what people are doing. I mean, you had the president of the United States, Donald Trump, come out and say, yeah, I took advantage of the tax code here in the U.S. It's there, right? I mean, what are you going to do? What about you, Robin? What about you? Do you agree with Saylor? Do we need these large hedge funds and institutions to come in?
I don't know
whether it's to help with regulation or giving notoriety to the space.
It's not that we need, it's just that it's coming, whether you want it, whether institutions want it, whether the US government wants it, whether China wants it.
But I don't want it.
It's coming. Like, you cannot disrupt innovative technology that is fundamentally better than what we have. And you can look at the course of history. You can push back on email, on internet, on the telephone, on broadcast. Like, you can push back on all of it all you want. Eventually, it's gonna break through. That's it. And Saylor here, he's just he's not gonna say that because he's CEO, polished company, and so he's gonna frame it up. But that's essentially what he's saying, man. It's coming, whether you want it or not, and these guys are gonna get on board, or you're gonna get left behind. I did find a interesting secret audio of Michael Saylor. I don't know if you heard this one.
Oh my God, that's fake, dude.
Yeah, it might be real. It might be real. So here we go. Here, you ready? Here. Let's see here.
Bitcoin stuff. This has legitimately ruined my life. If I could sell it all right now, I would. But we have to wait for break even. That's what I keep telling myself. Just wait for break even. I'm going insane having to deal with these Bitcoin maxis who think they know what they're talking about. I've been secretly buying NFTs on Ethereum for months now. Bitcoin fucking sucks. I should have bought Ethereum. I really should have.
Guys, please.
I bought a few Pudgy Penguins last night just to feel something.
Is this from Altcoin Daily?
They helped me get through the pain of.
Guys, please, if you're watching, no, this is obviously fake. It's not real. Michael Saylor is still the ultimate Bitcoin maxi.
Sounded like him.
Do you guys think he'll ever warm up to anything outside of Bitcoin?
So he was on an interview a few months ago. He was talking about
Litecoin, right?
He was talking about social tokens, and that how like Katy Perry and an emerging artists would be stupid not to use tokens to incentivize their community, give them perks, and to reap the rewards that generally would go to record labels and to managers and producers. And why not have a different system where you can monetize yourself? At this point, I don't think you need, if you wanted
that way anyway.
If you wanted to go through a management company, cool, yeah, sure. Hey, they'll do it for you. But at least let's bring in this new idea that, hey, the financial system is set up that if you want to monetize yourself, if you want to start your own community and not have all the fees and majority of the money go to a large company, you want to do it yourself? Cool, man. I think it's here. Let's use it. And I think crypto does it pretty damn well. And I think Michael Saylor realized that, man.
I don't know. What do you think, Rob? You think Saylor will ever change his expand his mind and his wallet maybe to anything outside of just Bitcoin and the Lightning Network?
I think Robin's right. I mean, I think he'll probably talk about it because it makes sense, right? I mean, if you want to value your community, you want to do those things, you can't do it with Bitcoin. You can do it with other different platforms. So yeah, he might talk a little bit about it, but I think he's like me, which is well, for not like me, I'm not a billionaire, but like he's like me, he's biased. Like on my channel, so if everybody knows, if you guys ever come over, it's I only talk about the things that I invest into because I have skin in the game, and I'm super biased. So like if you have, how many Bitcoin does he have? Over $1 billion now? I'm pretty sure. So like if you have over $1 billion of something and you're really into it, how could you not be biased? And not to say that Bitcoin is awful or Bitcoin is great, but if you got that much, you got to go all in. I'm just saying, you got to go all in on that. So I don't think, I mean, he may make references to other things a little bit, but I think it's Bitcoin, and that's where he's going to go for.
You know where else people go all in is in Las Vegas, which we know that you used to live, not in Vegas specifically, but in, you call it Hendertucky.
Oh, Henderson.
Henderson, Nevada.
Henderson, Nevada.
Are you ever planning on moving back?
Hold on. Actually, we have a picture of the heart of Henderson, which is the this is the city center, downtown Henderson here. Take a look. There it is. So.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
That's exactly right.
This is where I would walk my dogs, and I'm like, this is the travel center. Yeah, no, I mean to move back. I live because Henderson's great because like you're just a little bit off the strip, and you can get away from the madness, and then it's not bad. But as far as moving back, no, I think me and the wife will split time between Puerto Rico and Texas, and that's about it. I still have family that lives up there, so I'll be back every so often. We'll meet up, but it'll be like
if you're ever out here, you need to let us know. We will make sure that you get the right treatment you deserve, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Rob,
buffets, the good buffets, the good stuff.
Oh no, the buffets are out of date, man. We got new stuff going on. We'll show you around. Vegas has changed a lot.
All right,
we got you.
You're gonna come hang out with us in studio as well. We always have a packed audience in here. We got audience. We got audience cam over here. So we always got there it is.
Got some friends and family here.
Yeah, so we always got a packed house here.
We got a NOLA. Okay, very nice.
So
Rob, before we let you go, my friend, is there anything you want to leave us with? Anything exciting going on? Anything new you're doing? You know, if people want to follow you outside of just YouTube, where can they find you?
Matter of fact, like I have a meeting after this. Matter of fact, and we're always looking for like the big utility for the next crypto thing, right? Whatever that is. Mark Cuban talks about. He goes, what will really break through is if we have the next big utility function or the next big app, kind of like WeChat has with China. So I think that gaming is going to do pretty well as time goes on. And actually, I'm talking to the guys right now that remember that stupid game called Flappy Bird?
Oh, dude!
So,
do not get Robin on Flappy Bird right now. You'll be on this show for another 30 minutes.
That game is dumb, but man, everybody loved it. So these guys, these guys bought the IP for it. I'm gonna talk to them a little bit, and we're gonna make it into a Web3 game. Not me, but we're gonna see how it goes.
Really?
That'll be the next thing. Yeah, I know it's ridiculous.
Okay.
Anyhow, I'll let you guys know.
I would play that game.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. Robin's right because like I can do this all day long. It's no problem.
Bro, I actually have a top 100 score on Crossy Road.
Here
you know,
we
the
go.
little chicken that crosses the road. Yeah.
I've seen him play.
He's top 100,
he's a degenerate,
man.
Rob.
So usually you play it, and usually you die within 20 seconds.
This dude was on the airplane for 45 minutes.
I could go on a whole game. And then the one time I went to the arcade. Let me tell you, I went to arcade. I went with my son, and they had the Crossy Road game there. Bro, I instantly just took all the tickets out. That thing stopped printing, man. My kid got a new Xbox.
And that is Robin's biggest accomplishment in life.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Rob, it is always a pleasure to have you on, my friend. Thank you so much. We look forward to bringing you on again. Guys, please go subscribe. Go support the guests that join our show. Go subscribe to Digital Asset News. Also, go follow Rob on Twitter at News Asset. Let me pull this up real quick again. News Asset, right? Yes, News Asset on Twitter. Go follow him. Rob, thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your day, my friend, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys. Adios.
Thank you.
Later.
All right. That Henderson thing was pretty funny.
Yeah, you ever went hiking out in Henderson, man? It's like, you better have some boots, man, because there's nothing but them jagged lava rocks.
That's where I live, man. You talk about my home. I went biking there today.
Those boots are made for walking.
It's a nice place.
These boots are made for hiking. That's just what they do. All right, Rob, you want to give some love to the chat before we sign off?
Yeah, we do have some new people here. And if you're new, sneak your name in there. Say hello so we can drop a hola before we depart. So to you, we have Alex KU, Tony E, Will, Avinash, Bakal, Crypto Gopher, World's Lowest HVAC Dave. We have Parath, Alice FC, Nomad Numbers, TJ, the Cryptic Mushroom, Michael Stango, Benz and Bentley, Ivan Hernandez, and Crypto Beehive. Sucrat came in at the last second. To all of you, hola!
Did you say Sucrat? It's screw it. You are an impediment of reading, my friend. That's why I'm here.
I need a lozenge.
Yeah, okay.
However you say that. Without the lisp.
By the way, our poll, 82% of you said you would use your stable coins if you can pay with it anywhere Visa is accepted. And so I think I would too if I have money, if I use my Coinbase wallet, whatever wallet, and I'm earning a little bit of interest and I have my USDC on there and I can spend it versus having to convert it and then back into my account, I would. Also, before we leave, huge shout out to Jimmy. Jimmy gifted another 10 memberships.
Stop.
This man, and I talked to him yesterday, he's given out almost 350 memberships he's gifted out. 350. Do the math, bro. That's like over 1K. That's a lot of money. Jimmy, we love you, my friend. He's one of our whale members. Thank you so much. Also, guys, come join me tonight at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be doing a live stream talking about AI tokens, doing some charts, maybe covering some big news. Also, go check out some merch, not just Sin City merch, but general merch. And go follow us on all of our socials, including Twitter. We are at Sin City Crypto 1 on Twitter. All the links to everything is in the description of this video. With that being said, Kyler? Friends, family, friends, and family, and family, friends. We thank you guys so much for joining us on this beautiful Monday. We appreciate you. To all the new people, come back tonight, come back tomorrow. On behalf of myself, Robin, Kyler, our special guest, Rob, and our 3 very special in-house guests, we love you guys. Thank you so much. We will see you tonight and tomorrow. Until then, peace.